The next time you feel bored and have the urge to reach for your phone, imagine what would happen instead if you chose to stay bored. If your answer is absolutely nothing, then you are in for a treat because boredom contains a hidden opportunity that can very well be the best thing that can happen to you. Boredom is a precursor to greatness. A big, bold statement, I know. So let's get right to it. When it comes to the big picture, boredom is a signal that something feels off. It gives you a subtle kick in the butt when what you are doing is not what you really want to do in life. It is a signal that there is something wrong here that needs to be changed. This is more relevant with big life decisions like what to study in school or which career path to take than, say, a less significant choice of swiping right or left on an app, or an instant stream of novelty that keeps our mind constantly occupied, but drowns out the subtle clues of who we are, and along with it, the path to your life's grand adventure. Quiet, boring time allows you a temporarily pause from a world designed to constantly tell you what you should want and what you should do. So you can listen to yourself think and allow yourself the space for your truth to surface so you can answer your inner calling. Steve Jobs once said, "I'm a big believer in boredom. Boredom allows one to indulge in curiosity, and out of curiosity comes everything. More often than not, ideas worth pursuing are hard and challenging. And this difficulty is amplified when we feel like we don't have enough concentration and bandwidth to take on the challenge. The endless stream of novelty that's easily accessible makes any work that requires a degree of concentration feel boring and undesirable in comparison. But the good news is that your perception of fun and boring is relative, and it can be changed. What we once perceive as the problem, the unpleasant feeling of boredom that we try to get rid of, becomes our solution. Using boredom to reset your mind instead of letting it use you. Now imagine you are stuck in a cabin in the woods where your only options are limited to the following activity: reading a book or chopping wood. Super boring, right? You can either pick one of these two boring options or sit still and do nothing all day long. And yes, sitting still and doing nothing can be a very pleasant experience, but you can only stay in this state for so long before one of these boring options start to feel more interesting. At some point soon after, picking one will start to be more appealing relative to doing nothing. The next thing you know, nothing beats going down a rabbit hole in a random history book or a rigorous wood chopping workout. Oh, what's that, you say? Did you just magically alchemize boring into interesting with voodoo? Yes, you did! Now, what happens when we take this approach and apply it to your high priority tasks that you know you need to do to complete your most important life project, but just feels really boring at the moment, relative to all the other options you have within easy reach? Make a list of all these other fun, easy options, and by consciously choosing to remove these options and allowing yourself to temporarily feel bored, so bored, in fact, that the hard tasks start to become more and more appealing. And just like your cabin experience, you have elevated what was once considered boring into a fun and motivating experience, which only happened because you allowed yourself to sit through the pain temporarily, just long enough to allow boredom to turn into motivation. And it's not voodoo, you've just reset your dopamine baseline, which you can access anytime. But more significantly, by doing this, you've opened a path to creative thinking, new ideas, connections, and solutions to problems that you've never even considered. You've allowed these ideas to break through the limitations of your present state, and through this process, you have earned a superpower that opens a path to progress. Great writers, inventors, innovators, and creative geniuses have used this method to remove distractions and only leave their most important work as the only option available. It gave them the best opportunity to do great work, and a path to greatness that starts with a simple act of being bored.